nothing very Texas about that performance. It all seemed fairly straightforward. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was it was a good performance. I very happy, very pleased with the level. I tried, for those who watched, probably saw me coming more to the net than ever before. So that was the game plan today. Wasn't able to do that in the first round because James is a little bit tougher player to do that against. But the goal was to try to rush, stress him a little, take a little more chances. And luckily, I played a flawless first set, 2 or 3 unforced errors and a lot of winners. And like you said, second set is normal. I mean, when you start off 6-1, it's hard to keep up that level. And he probably raised his level a little bit. And a little bit of a clumsy break in the beginning, but after that it was a lot of good tennis, and I kept my cool and served really well.
You referenced your first round match there, and for us on the outside looking in, we were expecting you to take on Marcus Giron, and then we knew perhaps 5 minutes before the start of the match that it wasn't going to be the case, and you were playing a different opponent. How difficult was that for you in preparing for that match?
Yeah, it was different type of challenge. Of course, in the end, it's just a tennis match. But Marcos Giron, James Duckworth, 2 quite different players. Both great players, especially on a faster indoor court. And they were both going to be a challenge either way. But yeah, unlucky for Marcos. I think he hurt himself on the way from Davis Cup. Told me he had to walk up with a really stiff neck, couldn't really serve, couldn't look up. So that's a bummer for him. Neck is very, very exposed in tennis. If you have some problems with the neck, it just ruins your whole flow. So yeah, then I got to play James, who I had a really tough match against last year in Montreal. It was tough 3 sets, kind of similar match. I won the first, lost the second, and came up with a 1 break in the third. So yeah, happy with 2 good wins here in Dallas. Indoor hard court wins don't come easy for me, so every match I can get is a nice one.
Well, you mentioned that you're trying to come in a little more frequently now, and what's fascinating for me is you've had such a stellar career so far, 3-time major finalist, runner-up at the US Open, runner-up in Miami, so you've had success on this surface as well, albeit it might not necessarily be indoors. But what other aspects of your game are you trying to improve so that you can still compete with the best players in the world in conditions like these?
Yeah, I just think that I need to challenge myself, kind of dare to go out of my comfort zone, do a few maybe serve volleys, maybe a return coming in, just to kind of don't give the opponent too much comfort, knowing that, okay, if I serve to Casper's backhand, he'll hit it down to my backhand, and then I'll have the chance to rally with him, and his kind of spin game will be easy to handle on this fast indoors. I don't want my opponents to think that way anymore. I want them to be a little more surprised what comes out of my racket. Try to hide my shots a little better. I think sometimes I'm playing a little bit too obvious, with my forehand inside out. Instead of changing inside in after 1 or 2, I stay in the inside out for 3, 4, 5 shots. So I think that I'm kind of too easy to read, and my shots are not like as efficient on the faster low bounce indoor as in clay. Of course, in clay it will bounce up and create problems for my opponents up in shoulder height, but here it won't. So there you have it. There's a little analyzation of myself, and I think on indoor, and that's just concluded with the fact that I need to take more chances and just surprise my opponents a little more. I don't have the biggest serve. I don't have the biggest backhand necessarily, but my forehand can be good on any surface, I feel. And if I dare to step out of my comfort zone, do other things, I think I have a lot to improve.
Oh, we really appreciate that kind of insight. It's fantastic for us tennis fans, because now we can watch your matches sort of different, with a very different viewpoint. How different are your matches on your beloved clay? Are you very set with how well you're able to play on that surface, or are you going to try and incorporate some of this on that surface too?
I think it's good to bring it to the clay as well. I think the core of my game on clay will be heavy shots, making my opponent try to work as hard as possible for every point. You do get a little more time on clay to set up your shots and set up your rallies. It won't be like serve +1 too often unless you serve unbelievable. So there will be more rallies, and you know that, and that's kind of also comforting for me, because like when I play indoor and I feel like let's say I play someone who's a really good indoor player, and I feel like, okay, I was able to return the serve in, and he didn't hit a winner. I'm almost like stressed, like, oh, we're finally rallying here. So don't miss, don't miss. That's what I'm thinking, instead of thinking, I'm going to fight fire or his fire with fire and go for more, stress him back, not feel always so stressed. But on clay, I mean, I like it if the opponents think, oh no, we're going to rally. You know, I don't want to rally with him because it's going to be heavy and it's going to be a lot of heavy shots coming out of his racket. That's kind of the motto on clay. Don't want to spoil all my secrets on the surface, but I'm far away from a perfect player on clay. I lose many matches on clay. I just play a lot, so that's why I have a good statistic on it. I'm one of the players that play more tournaments on clay, and of course I love playing on it, but there's still more for me to improve. So I think that, of course, I'm focused on the upcoming weeks, but spring and clay this year is hopefully going to be a good clay season.
Well, don't worry. We'll keep all of that just between the two of us, Casper, OK? Won't tell anybody else. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and for all of that invaluable insight. All the best for the remainder of the matches this week.
Thank you.